Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in my last video, I mentioned that I would do a follow-up where I explain what you really need to ask and look out for when ordering aluminum windows and doors, especially when it comes to things like profile thickness, glass thickness, and all those terms suppliers use that can affect your final price. So this video is exactly that. Everything I'm sharing here is based on experience, both from ordering windows and doors ourselves and from working with clients over time. So let's start with standards, because this is something many people don't realize. If a supplier thinks your windows and doors are going to the US, to the UAE, or any country where higher standards apply, they may automatically quote based on those standards. From experience, yes, American standard is excellent. There's no question about that. But it's also much more expensive. A big part of that cost comes from stricter quality control and the fact that some of these specs are designed for high-rise or commercial buildings, not a typical residential home. So if you are ordering, for example, from Zimbabwe or any other African country, you should make that very clear. You can still get very good quality without paying for standards you don't actually need. And in most cases, if you don't know to ask, the supplier may not explain the difference and you might just assume the quote you're given is final, when in reality, there were other options. Now, let's talk about aluminum profiles, because this is where a lot of confusion happens. When suppliers talk about profile series like 70, 80, 90, 115, or 180, they're referring to the thickness and strength of the aluminum. The higher the series, the thicker and stronger the profile. But higher doesn't automatically mean better for everyone. This is something I really encourage people to think about. Is this your own home, or is it maybe an investment property? If it's a rental property, you don't want to compromise on quality, but at the same time, you also don't need to go all the way to the high specs. Profiles like 70, 80, or 90 series are not bad at all, especially for windows. Once installed, they look good. They function well, and they're still better quality than what many people end up buying locally. Now, if it's your own home and you have the budget to go that extra mile, then yes, going higher makes sense. You're building for comfort, longevity, and peace of mind. A good balance that I often suggest is this: use 70, 80, or 90 series for windows, especially smaller or fixed windows, and then go higher for sliding doors or larger openings. Sliding doors have moving parts and get used every day, so thicker profiles handle that movement and wear much better over time. The type of window or door you choose also plays a big role. Hinged or casement windows are very common in homes because they seal well, they're simple, and they don't have many moving parts. Sliding windows and doors, on the other hand, rely heavily on tracks and rollers. Over time, dust and dirt can collect in the track, which can make opening and closing harder if the quality isn't right. Fixed windows, on the other hand, don't open at all, so they're mainly for light and aesthetics. And those are usually fine with lower profiles as long as the glass is good. Glass thickness is another very important part of the whole conversation. This is actually one of the most visible parts once everything is installed. For us, we used 6mm glass for all our windows, double glazed, meaning 6mm on the outside and 6mm on the inside. That's where the term double glazing comes from. For our doors and main entrance areas, we went thicker and used 8mm glass because doors experience more use and movement. One thing I always say is, once everything is installed, the star of the show is really the glass. You notice the glass more than the frame. So if you go slightly lower on the profiles for windows, make sure the glass quality and thickness are right. Next up is mechanisms. Mechanisms also affect pricing a lot. A simple outward opening window is much cheaper than a tilt and turn system or anything with complex locking mechanisms. sometimes it's about compromise, deciding what you really need and where you can simplify without losing quality. And then when it comes to doors, especially for living areas, everyone loves the idea of big sliding doors. And they look great, especially when they're open. But I always encourage people to think about practicality. In places like Zimbabwe, with flies, mosquitoes, and dust, how often are you realistically going to leave those doors wide open? That's why it makes sense to always have a fixed portion everyday use option. This could be a hinged single door next to a slider, or a bifold door setup that includes a regular hinged section. That way, for daily use, you're not constantly opening a large sliding system. And when you're hosting or want that open feel, you still have the option. Mesh screens are great for everyday use, but realistically, when you have guests coming in and out, mesh isn't always practical, which is another reason having a dedicated everyday entry makes sense. So at the end of the day, don't just ask for price. Ask questions, ask about profile series, glass thickness, and what's suitable for your type of build. Whether it's your forever home or an investment property, understanding those basics helps you make smarter decisions. Avoid overpaying and still get very good quality. So I hope this video helps you feel more confident when ordering aluminum windows and doors. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. And if you are interested in buying anything from here, we also do offer consultation services. So if you do want to get in touch with us, you can find the email in the comment section. So thank you so much guys for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.
We got a beautiful story.